Good morning. Today is the 16th of August. I apologise for the terrible wind noise. And here we are at Brands Hatch for Mismatch at the Hatch. I don't know why it's called that either. I think it's a new event for this year. And this is the perfect ordinary car zone within Mismatch at the Hatch. I don't know how I've managed to get into this section. It's actually like the concourse section of this event, but nevertheless I'm in here. We'll see what I've bought later on. I do apologise in advance again for this wind noise, which is nothing I can do about that. For any incorrect information, if I fall over, if it's generated a terrible video, I'm afraid it's just the way it goes in this channel. There's a reason why we call these Shambolic shuffles. So we start off with this 1994 Renault Laguna. It's a 2-litre RXE. Very, very early one. They came out, I think, early 1994, and this is a 94 only plate. RXE was towards the top of the range. I don't know if it originally had these wheel trims on it. I think perhaps they're off a different model. I could be wrong. But there we go. It's actually in nice condition, this. I drove one of these on the channel last year. It was a slightly different model, 1.8, but also a 1994. Amazing to see one of these. These are quite rare cars now. They don't have a lot of value necessarily, but they're quite rare. Obviously, we need a higher spec with a leather interior, maybe like a Monaco or whatever they called them. That would be nice. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate things like this. Next, we've got a Toyota Carina E. This is a 94-95 on an M plate. I think that's an indicator of a facelifted one on the right-hand side. I've driven two of these. I drove one quite recently. It was a very similar spec to this. This is a manual. The one I drove was an automatic recently. I think this is a 1.6. Little bit of corrosion there, but the thing is about this perfect ordinary car zone, unlike something like Festive Exceptional, your car can be a little bit dented and a little bit rusty, and yet you can still end up in this zone. Just how I got in, I think. Otherwise, that wouldn't happen. Hampshire plate on this one, HO, which would have been Portsmouth at the time. Next, we've got a Honda Insight. Now, the requirements for displaying a car at this event are 20 years or older, so this actually is fine. This is the 2001-2 registration on this Insight. They, I think, were actually sold at a loss for Honda back in the day. They were one of the first mass-produced hybrids. The Prius was a little bit before this, but the Insight was Honda's attempt, and it is a very distinctive and very economical car. Unlike a lot of hybrids, it's actually a manual, which is great. Now, I'm not necessarily somebody who thinks this is the best car in the world. Some people do think they're the best thing ever. I don't know about that, but I think they're very interesting. Next, we've got a very, very nice Tomcat, 93-94 registration. This is a 216. We can tell actually by the rear drum brakes, amongst other things. Lovely colour, pre-facelift dash on this one. The facelift of Vedicom has occurred in 1995. It wasn't really much the facelift of the exterior, more the interior was changed. We've got wheels on this car off something like a Rover 45 V6, or something like that. They were used on quite a few Rovers, these Cosmos wheels. They're not correct for the car, but they look fantastic, so I'll definitely let that pass. Nice colour as well. Obviously wood on the dash, you know, even though it's sporty, you've still got wood on the dash, which is just the way it was back in the day, and that is absolutely and utterly delightful. Equally as delightful is this extremely rare 1984 Nissan Bluebird. It's a turbo version. It's the quadruple S. It's got a headlamp wiper action and a triple S badge, but actually quadruple S. There we go. Quadruple S, Super Sport Sedan Special. Japanese specification, 1.8 turbo with 135 horsepower. You could get U11 Bluebird, of course, over here, but not like this one. Not only is it the turbo version, it is outrageous in this yellow colour, complete with a rear wiper viewers. I mean, how can you possibly not like this? I think even the rear lights on this are unique to this model rather than the sort of British versions that we got over here. Not built in Britain, just sold over here. The Bluebird wasn't built over here until the T12 series. Next, something I think I prefer even more, this 1995 1996 Mazda Z-DOS 6 with the 2-litre V6 engine. Yes, a 2-litre V6. It's very, very nice, viewers. The only thing that would improve it for me would be have a beige leather interior, which it just doesn't quite have. But that's very nice, viewers. We'd like that very, very much indeed. Tasty treats. So even more Datsun Nissan action. This is actually a very early stanza. It's one of the only coupes left. I actually filmed this car on the channel in 2021. I have seen the owner a couple of times. He's around somewhere. And you can see actually the condition of this compared with the Vespa Exceptional Concours, although there isn't really any comparison. This is the way the chap likes it actually. He likes it like this, and that's absolutely fine. You can see this is the very early stages of them going to the Nissan branding. It says Datsun by Nissan. So there we go. An extraordinary kind of survivor car. I think this is a couple of the ones that this gentleman owned previously. And yeah, there we go. That is just extraordinary, particularly the sort of rust on the bonnet like that. Also with some certainly suspicious paintwork is this 1990 Ford Granada Scorpio. This is one of the first of the saloon Mark III Granadas. They came out in 1990. This has been 1990 only. I'm not sure what's going on with this paint, but never mind. Look at this sort of tow bar on the back and this reflector strip like a Volvo 240. Possibly supplied by 40k themselves. It's a VX, which is Essex. I don't know. So there we go. Maybe the paint's deliberate, I'm not sure. Next, you've got a Morris Marina. This is a very late Marina, a 79 to 80 on a V. This is for 1.7L, so it's the more powerful powerful engine, but the sort of lower spec. And for some reason, this car's got a 5-speed gearbox. I don't think that the Marinas actually had these originally. I don't think they did. So someone's obviously fitted that later. I could be wrong about that, but I don't believe so. Something also British, but much, much later, is this Rover 620 Ti. Now, I don't think at the time the 620 Ti's had this badge on them, but this would have said 600. So that's been fitted later, but I approve. I would personally do that if I had a 620 Ti, because about 1996 they removed the specific trim level badges, and the car, I think, are worse off for that. But 97, 90, I saw this actually at the social event we did down in Horsham back in March. Again, it's not perfect, this. I drove a 620 Ti last year, not this one, a black one, and they are superb to drive. They are really nice cars. The normal 600s, I've owned one as well. I've driven loads of them. They're nice to drive, but these are even better. Then we've got this extraordinary sort of survivor Corsa Spin. It's a facelift Corsa B, 98, 99 registration. Probably a 1 litre, I imagine, on this. I can't remember exactly. And quite a jazzy interior, but really not much at all. No airbags, windy windows. I mean, this is the sort of thing that actually Ian Seabrook from Pub Nut quite likes. He likes this sort of thing. But really, actually, in pretty nice condition, and only 26,000 miles. Brilliant. Next, we've got a Fiat Barchetta. This is a 2001 car. I don't think it's the actual major facelift. That didn't occur until about 2003, so it's not quite one of those, but it looks different from the one that I filmed. It was a very early one, the one I filmed. 1996, the one I filmed, actually, which is earlier this year. They are quite nice to drive, but I just can't get my head around being steering with me on the other side. Some people, it's not a problem with them. Me, my brain doesn't work very well like that. Next, we've got this Honda Civic. I think this is an EJ or EK Civic. Amazingly, this 1.4 Tornado model still has the original wheel trims. It's still got them. Not a lot of power, about 89 horsepower, I think, in these. But this one's not been modified. It's amazing. Like, most of these are now modified that still exist. This one hasn't been. So 96, 97 plate, I think, on this. But we've got a car that actually was something I filmed on the channel a while ago. This is a 1989 Alfa Romeo 164 V6. It's owned by a chap called Greg, who is just over there. He actually lives near Southampton, as I do, and for some reason, this wasn't deliberate. We came in here and parked next to each other. So there we go. It's very nice, this one. It is the 3-litre Busso It's got a manual gearbox and of course that crazy interior. It's in lovely condition actually, this car. And Sonny is here with the slightly tatty bumpers. I've added to my repertoire a tissue box as well as a Panama hat because that's the way it should be, isn't it, viewers? I don't quite know how I made it into this section. They never really told me what the criteria was for appearing in this zone, so I don't know what's happened, but I'm very glad to be in here. Next we've got this Fiat Cinquecento Sporting. This is quite a late one because you've got the driver's airbag in here. They didn't get those, I think, until 1997, but I think this is probably a 97. This is probably the most common specification of Cinquecento remaining, Sporting in yellow. Little 1.1 engine with I think 54 horsepower. I had driven one of these. It was an SX, which had the less powerful engine. Like the Seicento, that is also based on this. The biggest problem with these cars is the pedal box. If you've got feet which are even remotely large, the possibility of you pressing the wrong pedal is quite high. So you've got to be a bit careful, really, if you want to drive a Cinquecento in anger. Then we've got this extraordinary Mitsubishi Galant. This is, I think, a 1987. It's I think a 2-litre GLS, and it's very sort of early 80s looking. This kind of whole stance and shape of it, it's just extraordinary. Very, very rare car, even when news would have been rare, because Mitsubishi were heavily hampered by import quotas at the time. I really like that. That is just delightful. I prefer the Mazda Z6, but that's a very sort of close second, that incredible Galant. Right, we've got motorsport going on in the background, viewers, but we continue in this area here with this extraordinary smart car. Yeah, I mean, I know Ian Seabrook used to have first generation smart, and now it's owned by Mr. Waters from Scottish Car Enthusiast and Trains TV. Well, hello, autofocus, thank you. Obviously you don't like it, we're now to continue then, viewers. First generation Audi S3, 2000 to 2001 registration. Gosh, that is noisy in the background. I don't think my microphone would be of any benefit because of the wind. But yeah, we like this S3. It's a facelift one. Next, we've got a very, very late Mark V Fiesta Z-Tech S, 2002 only. I drove one of these recently. It wasn't a Z-Tech S. It was I think a Flight or a Finesse or something like that. That is quite nice. I quite like that, viewers. I mean, I'd prefer it if it was a gear. That would be even better, but that'll do, won't it? I prefer, though, this Honda Concerto. It's quite an early one, actually, this. It's 8990 on a G with 1.6 D series. Now, this is very similar to the old R8 Rover 200s that came out in 1989. They're very, very similar. They're actually built on the same production line, but the Concertos are much, much rarer. And then we have something else delightful, an N14 Nissan Sunny. This might actually be a Pulsar. Let's have a look at the back of it. Is this a GTI R, viewers? Yes, it is. It's a Pulsar model, so this is the Japanese spec one. This would be probably a 91. That's the year they came out. N14s I really like, actually. I might help myself to an N14 at some point in my life if I get rid of my N13. But very, very nice view. These are worth a lot of money now. Much more powerful than the sort of 1.4, 1.6 GA engines. Then something else quite rare. The Citroen AX GTI. Facelifted car, 91, 92 registration. That's actually in really nice condition. There are not many of these left now, particularly not the GTIs. And then something else that I'm very happy to is here, an Astra G 1.6 Club from the year 2000. I drove a very similar one of these. It was a 99, an LS, earlier this year. Yeah, up to 2005 hatchbacks is this category here. I really like the Astra G's, viewers, for some reason. I prefer like a CDX or something. There we go. And then a P11 Primera. I drove one of these quite recently. It was a GT in 2024. It was pretty good. This is also the same. It's also a GT. This is a 99. One I drove was white. This is a sort of, I don't know how you describe it, like turquoise. Then a Golf Mark III driver, 1995-96 registration. Driver was kind of like a insurance-friendly GTI model, effectively. This has got different wheels on it. And then a Honda CRX. Very nice, second generation CRX. I wonder if we've got the VTEC in this one. 1.6 i16, does that mean it's got a VTEC? I don't know. Anyway, 8990 like the Concerto. Oh, viewers, look at this. That is really nice. 1990 to 1991 Peugeot 405 GTX, probably the 1.9. I love these wheels. It's an auto. This is really, really nice, this car. We've got headlamp washers as well. I've actually got headlamp protectors. That's delightful view. It's possibly a press car with commentary plate. Then a very basic Mark III Fiesta facelift, 94-95 on an M, with wheel trims. Got Mondeo style mirrors. This is the Azura Special Edition. It's probably the 1.3, I would imagine. Next we've got another Astra G, but it's a bit faster than the last one. It's a GSI from 2003. I think there's a 2-litre turbo in these. Quite fast, unlike that 1.6 Club. And then something really quite delightful. Look at this Mark I Focus RS. These are worth a lot of money now. It's a 2003. I think the vast majority of them were this colour from memory. That is really nice. And then next we've got a Volvo 340DL from about 1984, which was the base model at the time. Those wheels are quite fancy, aren't they? I don't think they're original to the car. They're obviously of the period. They're pretty good actually, don't they? It's only got a 4-speed gearbox. It's not the old daft type Variamatic in here. This is a standard manual. But they have a weird transaxle in these. It makes them quite good for drifting if that's your sort of bag. Next we've got this Mini 1976-77 on an R. Similar steering wheel to the ones that we use in the Mr. Bean series. Mini 1000. It's actually in really nice condition. Next we've got something that we like very much, viewers. A P80 V70. 99 to 2000 plate. I don't know what engine's in this. It's be a white block of some description. Very, very nice views. The only thing we could improve on that would be to get a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. I don't think you've seen one with a beige leather interior yet. 2001 Mark I Yaris. You've actually got a thing here. It's a GS. I actually filmed almost identical one of these. It wasn't quite this colour. I filmed that in 2024. Nice examples of these actually still fetch quite a lot of money. That is really nice. There's no rust on that. Next, Mark IV Fiesta. Maybe the information sheet would tell me what model this is. No, it doesn't. It's a personal plate. I don't know what that is actually. It could be just like an LX or something with alloy wheels. Maybe an SI, I don't know. Next, a Seicento. This is similar to the Cinquecento we saw. Also, I think a Sporting. I could be wrong. It is a Sporting. Yeah, it's a 2000. I don't know what I prefer really, the look of this or the Cinquecento. And then a Saxo VTR from 2000 to 2001. Wow. Quite a sort of nice selection actually here. I quite like that. The VTS was faster. I think it was about 96 horsepower as opposed to 120, which was in the VTS. A K11 Micra from the Zombie Outbreak Response Team. But honestly, if we do have a zombie outbreak, a K11 is probably going to be the only car that just keeps going, isn't it? You've got all kinds of sort of prepper survival gear in there, which is good. And then a more standard looking K11. Both of these are the final facelift one. This is a 2002 S model. The S model wasn't actually that basic. We still got windy windows in there though. Windy windows, as you probably know, viewers, are not really my preference. Next, you've got a Lupo, a very late Lupo, 2005. This is the GTI, which is something of a cult car these days, actually. The Lupo I filmed recently was a 1.4 automatic, which is a little bit slower than this. I mean, this looks great, doesn't it? Silver was, I think, probably the most common colour for the GTIs back in the day. Boots, not the biggest though, that's the only problem. Oh, viewers, we've got two Cavaliers. This is exciting, isn't it? We've got a Cavalier SRI. This is Mark III, although that might not go through the next MOT like that. That's probably going to have to be addressed. Very nice, very late one actually, this, a 94, 95. Do we have red top action in here? Possibly. I like that, viewers, but I like this even more. The 79 to 80 Cavalier Sports Hatch. I really like these. They're just basically an Opel Manta B, but for some reason I prefer the look of the Cavalier to the Manta. 1.6 GL model with a slightly interesting exhaust. Very nice. And because this with 20-year-old is here, this is a 2003 9N Polo, fits straight in. It's probably got like the 1.2, 1.4 engine. I drove one of these a while ago. There's still quite a few of these around actually. They seem to be quite tough. Now, an R53 Mini Cooper S, 2004 to 5, which is good. I drove one of these a while ago. It was good fun. The Tritec engine. Then we have something very nice, a 2000 to 2001 Ford Fiesta Mark V gear. Really what we need is the leather interior option, but that's fine. And next we've got another Seicento. This is a 1.1 active model from 2003, Active Sport. I don't know what you got that was sporty about it. I mean, they're not very fast, not at all really, but there we go. Someone's already got the sticker for the day on the back of this one, there we go. Celebrating the ordinary cars that you love. Another Focus Mark 1, this is an ST170. A little bit less powerful than the RS, but nevertheless quite interesting. There we go. I don't like this music they're playing, viewers. It's not conducive to my filming, but never mind. Ooh, a Nova. Oh, I think we've been modified somewhat, viewers. To look at this information sheet, it's a Merit SRI replica. Gosh, it's been improved at 130 horsepower. They've improved the brakes, because the brakes on a Nova aren't necessarily the best. I know, I drove one back in 2022. It was a 1 litre saloon from 1991. The brakes were pretty bad. Anyway, another R53 Mini Cooper S. Excellent, viewers, we like that. And then a Golf R32 Mark V from 2006 to 7. Wow. Looks a bit difficult to work on though, viewers. Looks a bit tight for your maintenance. But I do appreciate such things, nevertheless. So 1990 Ford Escort Mark IV 1.4L, a real survivor car. Got evidence of the arches bubbling slightly here, but overall it's in pretty nice condition, this actually. I love stuff like this. I drove a 1.3L from 1988 last year, and it was actually really good. It did 11,000 miles. More R8 action views, a 214 SI in this beautiful launch colour. This would be in 1989 to 1990. SI, you don't get a lot of equipment. You still have windy windows in the front, which is not my favourite really, to be honest. But there we go. Interesting Mark VI Fiesta here, which got a different sort of front end. I wonder if this has been modified. No, it's a 1.25 ZTEC SE engine with 74 horsepower, which to be honest is a pretty good engine. I quite like these viewers. One of the Mark 6 Fiestas I've done on the channel, I've done 2 of them, it's been very successful indeed. We've got a Rover 216 SLI from 91-92, which is a late pre-facelift one. Again, it's not quite there with luxury. We need a leather interior, we need a GSI really with the optional leather interior, but that's still nice. Then another P11 Primera. There seems to be breeding down here, which is interesting. This is a GT as well. It looks like it's got GT seats in it. Yeah, it is another GT, 98.99 on an S. That's 2 P11 Primera GTs, excellent. Then this has had some modifications to make it look a bit different, this particular Mini. I don't quite know what's been done to it, but the back end doesn't look the same. There's also an R53, to be a Cooper S. And then a Mark 5 Escort, which is rare in itself, but this one, I think it's an RS2000 or something like that. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. It's an RS2000. Fantastic. 91-92 on a J. And then, of course, we've got a Cosy. Yes, please, viewers. I mean, they're a lot more expensive, a lot more powerful than the RS2000s. VW, so probably a Ford UK car. Someone's put a wooden dash on this one. I mean, this is a very, very valuable car. This is not an ordinary car at all, but it is fantastic. 95-96, so a relatively late one. Then another Mark 6 Fiesta, 2003 to 4. It's probably got windy windows and something like this. If you got windy windows, I don't know what specification, but it's like a studio or something. Can't remember. Then, very, very nice Audi Coupe, 2.3E, 1989 to 90. You can actually still buy the sort of original coupe shape as well at this stage, because the All Quattro continued until 1991. That is very, very, very nice, actually. And then the previous generation Polo, the Mark 3 facelift. I had a Mark 3 as my first car in 2001, so I'm very fond of these. This is the sort of later version. One was a 98, so it's a pre-facelift one. And then a Mondeo ST24, 1990-2000 registration. This is Essex plate on here, so maybe 40k registered this themselves. I think this was the most powerful Mark II you could get. It's a late one, discontinued in 2000. My mysterious benefactor just turned up and interrupted my video. Mr. Duncan, how are you, sir?
Good morning, sir. Thank you for the offer of the donut.
That's all right, sir. We can talk.
We can't.
Why not, sir?
It's an HDR.
It says GTR on it, sir.
Yeah, it says GCI HDR.
So, viewers, we had a bit of an indiscretion there. My mysterious benefactor's been helping me out, and we're going to go on to this Yaris. Now, this has got some very interesting wheels on it. Look at these wheels. I don't even know what these are off, to be honest. We've got some interesting centre caps. I'm not sure. Someone in the comment section below can tell me what these are off. This is the T3 model. I think it's still a pre-facelift one. Now, this is delightful, this particular car. This is a 1985 Ford Fiesta Popular with a 950cc engine. It is just nothing. We haven't got a rear wiper. We haven't got rear disc brakes. We haven't really got anything. We've got the low spec dash in it. So Mark II Fiestas had 2 different dashboards in them. They had a low and a high spec dash, and this is the low spec dash. It is actually really, really nice. There's virtually no rust on this as well. Then we've got something even smaller than the Fiesta. This is a 1972 Honda Z600. You could get these over here, actually. It is absolutely tiny. It barely comes up to my chest. It's absolutely ridiculously small. As my mysterious benefactor has pointed out, the wheels are 10 inches on this, so the same size as Mini wheels. In fact, I'm not even sure if this is as big as a Mini. It might be smaller than one. Crazy. Then we've got a Mark II Golf here. Just for the big bumpers, so about 89, 90 perhaps. It's not a GTI, which is unusual really. Most of the ones you see are GTIs these days. Another K11 Micra with the final facelift, a 2001 car this time. Gosh, that's noisy, isn't it, that track? This looks a bit more luxurious than the other one, but it's still just an S model. Then we'll go for this R53 Mini. Obviously there's a whole load of people driving these today for some reason. But there we go. Which is good. Right, the Nova we can't talk about, so we're going to stop here, viewers. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below. We shall see you very soon in the next part with some more incorrect information.